This is cod with white rice, mushrooms, and green onion and green beans. So it's cod with fennel, shallots, and a white wine butter sauce. White wine lemon butter sauce. Oh my gosh, I gotta come up with the title for this. Anyway, this is what it'll look like. Well, hello, I am back in Amy Roloff's little kitchen, and I am Amy Roloff. So welcome back, thanks for joining me. And what I thought about cooking today is cod fish. Cod fish is a very easy fish. It's a fish that you can add and do so much to it. It's a great fish for fish and chips. You can make it savory. You can make it very, very simple. And a lot of times I love it because I usually just do a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of garlic, bake it, done. Maybe sprinkle a little bit of breadcrumbs on it. I'm just kind of shaking it up, doing something just slightly different this time around. Halibut is a very good fish too. It's hearty, it doesn't fall apart. It's great for fish and chips as well. And I think it's good for a little bit more savory stuff because it can hold up well. And anyway, there's lots of different fishes out there, and I keep it pretty basic, you know, salmon, cod, halibut, whatever. So for Chris and I, because of all the holidays, and we had beef, we had turkey, we had ham, and you know, sometimes a lot of that heavy meat, I just really wanted something light and simple. And that's what I'm hoping this is. I looked down online at a bunch of different recipes and kind of combined certain things together because, I don't know, that's what I liked. So I've got some cod fish here, 3 of them. We're gonna use a little bit of fennel. Look at this thing, I love this thing. Doesn't it remind you kind of like a little fan? Oh, I'm a little bit hot. A little bit hot. Anyway, I love these little feathery things, and often I just cut these off and get rid of them, and I think they can be very, very good, especially the little leafy part. I don't know, what do you call it? All I can think is tongs, but that's not right. But I do like the little leafy part, and we're gonna use some of that. I think this will be great as a little, once the fish is done, just sprinkle that instead of like parsley. I think this will really go well with that. I've got breadcrumbs going on here. I don't think it'll be good in that, so I might just leave the leafy part of the fennel bulb, just part of a garnish, a topping on there. But this smells so, so nice. It's anise, I think it is. It's got that hint of licorice without it being licorice. It's got a nice aroma to it. And I thought it would complement this cod fish very, very well. And this is gonna be part of our, I don't know, I guess you could call it a vegetable. So I'm gonna saute up some of this fennel along with, where'd they go? Along with my shallots. This was a big shallot, so I only used like half of it. So a little bit of shallots here, and a little bit of garlic is gonna go in with that. But first of all, I'm gonna start sauteing the fennel first, because that'll take a little bit longer. And I wanna saute it so it's just slightly soft, but maybe a little tinge of brown to it. So let's get going on here. I'm gonna cut off all these little tongs, or, man, I had the name down and I can't remember now. I know a lot of people are gonna think I don't know what I'm doing. I can probably tell you the truth, half the time I don't. But I get so mad at myself when I don't know the right name for some of this stuff. I really try hard to have Parmesan. I think that's how you pronounce it, Parmesan. Right, Parmigiano Reggiano. That's how I remember, because I don't know why I keep saying Parmesan. Horrible. Anyway, we're gonna slice this up as thin as we can, because if not, it'll take a long time. And I think the thinner it is, with such a delicate fish, I think that would be better. So we're gonna slice this up as thin as you can get it. But I tell you, the smell, anise, I think it's anise. Yeah, anise. I think it is. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it smells just that little bit of licorice, but it doesn't taste like licorice. It does not taste like black licorice, but it does have this nice aroma and smell to it. Oh, it's so nice. And I think that'll give it, besides a little bit of bite, crunch, because it's fennel, but I think it'll give it a nice little flavor to the codfish as well. So these were pretty small fennel bulbs, probably because it's not really the time of year to get fennel bulbs, but you still have them in the grocery store. But these were kind of small, so I am using 2 of them. And then this will be kind of like the vegetable along with green beans. And I'm just making a simple green beans with this, just, you know, cooking them on the stove top. And then I had already, where'd they go? I had browned some almonds, because I think that'll be a nice little crunch topping to it. It'll kind of complement the little bit of toasty breadcrumbs. And then with the shallots and everything, I think it'll complement, because we are putting the codfish with a little bit of butter, a little bit of lemon juice, and a little bit of white wine. Okay, we're going fancy codfish. So I'm gonna go on and head on over to the stove, and I'll meet you there. Amy Roloff's Little Kitchen. Hi, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you are enjoying it, and I would really appreciate it if you liked it and subscribed to it. And oh, don't forget to click that little bell up there, and you'll be notified of future videos that are new and coming on my YouTube channel. So thank you so much for that. And I would really appreciate it if you shared the video and let other people know, and encourage them to subscribe and like the videos as well. So anyway, thank you, and back to the video. Okay, my pan is getting hot, so I'm gonna do a little bit of olive oil on here. And we're gonna start sauteing the fennel. So we're having cod fish. I know, you know what, every time I say codfish, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the movie Peter Pan, when Captain Hook, I think, kept saying codfish. He was afraid of it, or I don't know. It's something in the movie that he says codfish, or you're a cod, or cod something. But every time I say codfish, it reminds me of the movie of Peter Pan or Hook with Dustin Hoffman. Anyway, so I'm gonna saute the fennel here, and it's really just a little bit of olive oil. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Salt makes everything go well. And depending on how thin or how thick you slice the fennel, this could take maybe about 10 minutes. Then I've got my rice in this little pan here. And with the rice, I chopped up some green onions, and I'm gonna saute some mushrooms. And then when it's all finished, I'll mix that in together. And then when I serve it, I'll put a little parsley on it. Okay, while this is sauteing, let's see, do I have anything else to chop? I don't think I did. I always want to make sure I chop everything before I do these videos. Okay, we'll let this keep going. We'll let this keep cooking, and I'll be back. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, so I'm gonna bring you, I'm gonna bring you on over here. But I think you can see it starting to brown just a little bit. So it is definitely time to add the shallots. And get them softened up a little bit. And just before this is all done, I'm gonna add the garlic. because you definitely don't want the garlic to burn. And believe me, I've had a tendency of that happening. I mean, I don't exactly mind a little burnt garlic, but it has kind of, it gets bitter. It doesn't have the most flavorful taste to it. And I love garlic. So we're gonna keep sauteing that a little bit. Okay, I think that's about done. I'm gonna add in the garlic. Oh yeah, the fennel bulb, just that hint of aroma. Oh, it smells so good, and now it's garlic in it. I think this will be very good. And once I put the fish in the oven, I'll use the same pan just to saute the mushrooms for the rice. So yeah, you just want them slightly brown. Just brown around the edges and stuff. It's not like you want to fry them. So I'm gonna leave this here and let's prep our dish for the fish. Okay, you know what? I wanted to say something. When I do these cooking videos, often I do them about an hour or so just before Chris and I will eat the meal, or especially if I'm cooking for Lisa and Deb or my family or something like that. But I tell you, Chris is so patient because even though I plan like an hour, 2 hours before it, I always end up putting the dinner on the plates later than I think. He's so patient, meaning Chris is so patient with me. I'm just so thankful because we eat a lot later than I would like. So anyway, see these little green leafy things? I just peeled or plucked some of those off, and then I will just kind of give it a rough chop. And then this will kind of be like the little topping on the fish. I think that'll go well. And it just, it's a fresh green. It doesn't really have a lot of the anise flavor to it like the fennel bulb does, but I think it's a nice garnish. And you can always combine it with a little bit of parsley as well. I think the two together will go well. Okay, let's get our pan. So here we have our pan. It's a small little dish because it's only the two of us. And we may or may not have leftovers. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of melted butter on there in my pan. I think that'll be good. And here I've got my fish. Now these were kind of slightly frozen, so what I'm gonna do right now is just kind of drain off some of the excess water here. There we go, just a little bit. Now these are not really thick cod. Sometimes you can get thicker cod fish fillets. I don't think they are as thick as I often can get a halibut. And so this will not take too long. So what we're going to do is, okay, salt and pepper. Whoa, I tell you, you know what I should have done? Okay, this is what I should have done. I forgot to tell you guys. This is what we should have done first, but I went ahead with the fennel. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna pretend like we did this first. So I'm gonna salt and pepper a little bit of the fillets here. Salt and pepper the fillets. I still don't have a handle on this camera thing yet. I'm just gonna lay them down in here. You want them kind of snug so, they don't all fall apart, but they'll cook well together. And then I'm gonna salt and pepper the other half. And what we're gonna do is kind of par cook these a little bit first. Since these aren't very big codfish, I'm gonna do it for about 8 to 10 minutes, just so they're almost all the way cooked through, but not quite. Because overall, this will take about 20 minutes. So 10 minutes here, then we're gonna combine everything with the fish and we'll put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. And right now I have it at 450 degrees. 425, 450, I think that's good, depending on your oven. So like I said, pretend we did this first, because this should have been cooking while we do all of that. Oops. So, we'll be back. Okay, while we have the fish in the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and do the breadcrumbs. You can like saltine crackers, or I'd rather use saltine crackers or any kind of like really plain crackers, or I've used plain breadcrumbs here. So about 1/4 cup and 1/4 cup of Panko breadcrumbs, because that'll give that little nice little crunch. Let me get a fork. And the breadcrumbs are gonna go on top of the fish. They'll be that nice little crunch. You do not have to put breadcrumbs on top of the fish. It's not necessary. I just kind of like it, so that's what I'm doing. And I probably have about maybe, oops, did this? Oh my goodness. Oh dear. I pre-melted this butter and it's not melted anymore. I gotta melt it again. 10 seconds. So, let's mix in a little bit of garlic. Sprinkle a little bit of garlic. A little bit of pepper. A little bit of salt. Let's see here, anything else? Okay, oof. My butter is melted. My goodness. I guess maybe it's not worth doing things ahead of time sometimes. And the butter is just to moisten it up, and will also help with the toasting. And you just want to mix this in here just so it's all moistened. And this almost kind of reminds me of when you make that graham cracker crust for your cheesecake. Anyway, I remember growing up having a lot of fish, especially cod fish. But then again, we used to have a lot of fish sticks. You know, you buy them in the frozen container. You'd have, you know, in the frozen section. I would have a lot of fish sticks on Friday night because my mom worked. I mean, she worked ever since, gosh, I was like in kindergarten. That was, well, now I'm counting my age. That was back in like the, you know, the late 60s. So anyway. But, you know, I remember having a lot of cod fish. I don't think they even had tilapia. I think that's how you pronounce it. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I don't remember ever having that kind of fish around. I think we did have halibut. But anyway, I like fish. I think it's healthy. I think it's good for you. And it creates a really light meal. I'm just going to add a dash of hot paprika just to give it that little bit of heat. Just because I like it. But you guys can make your breadcrumbs any way you want. That's what I love dishes about this, is because this is what I'm doing. But if you like something else, put a little spin on it. But I thought the fennel, the shallot would really go nice. Add a little bit of flavor to a nice mellow fish. And I'm going to zest a little bit of lemon in here. One of these days, because I'm only working with one camera right now, until I spend a whole day, 2 days, understanding all the other equipment that I have, I'm going to let you get a real tour of my kitchen. My coffee pot is over there. My silverware is over there. Obviously, you see me get on the stool to go in the microwave. But yes, I did put a little lemon zest in my breadcrumb. I just thought that would be kind of fun. And then I have still a little bit of lemon zest that I can put with the fish along with some slices. So let me see, we're almost done here. Let me see, does this have enough salt in it? I think it needs just a little more. You don't want to make it too salty. Okay. Probably because I think I used unsalted butter. That's good. Okay. Let's see if my fish is done so we can finish dressing all of this up. Okay. Let's go get it. Okay, see? It's starting to cook. It's starting to get that opaque white. So it really doesn't have that much longer to go. So let's finish this up here. I want to make sure it didn't stick to the pan. Okay. We got our fennel and shallots. I'm just going to kind of spoon that on the fish. Or around the fish, I should say. Let me dress this up a little bit prettier. Yeah, there we go. Okay. We are going to add like, where did my thing go? Oh, here it is. We're gonna add like a little 1/4 cup of white wine. There we go. Oh my goodness, I didn't even have a glass of white wine poured for me. You know what? I'm going to change this up because I want to add the lemon juice to it too. Only need about a tablespoon because I only have 3 fish here. All I need is maybe about a tablespoon. I went over by my dishes. But if you had more fish in here, I'd add a little bit more. Oops, where did it go? Here, we're gonna put it in this little container. Yeah, it's slightly more than a tablespoon, but I think it'll be okay. Okay, so we got our lemon juice in here, 1/4 cup of wine. I'm gonna combine it. And the reason I want to combine it because I just don't want a flavor of wine here and a little more lemon juice over here. This way, it's all together. We're just going to kind of drizzle that over the fish on top and then surround it. We already got our butter in there. Oh, it smells so good. And we already have our garlic because we sauteed that with the fennel and the shallots. So where's my breadcrumbs? And then we're just gonna put a little bit of we're gonna put a little bit of breadcrumbs on top of it. And if some of the breadcrumbs fall into the sauce, that's okay. There we go. We're gonna save our parsley and our fennel, little feathery leaves. There we go, I think that's a lot. You don't wanna overpower it with breadcrumbs. So I definitely have some left over. So, this is what our fish looks like. And we're gonna put it back in the oven for about another 10 minutes. Make sure you don't overcook the fish because then it turns tough and it dries out. So I think about 10 minutes for this, and some of the wine sauce will thicken or evaporate. Okay, now, what do we do now? I think we're gonna saute the mushrooms. For my rice, I already have, all I have is one green onion in here. I didn't wanna overpower the rice with green onion. Now I'm just gonna saute the mushrooms a little bit. The almonds will be on top of the green beans. And so I'm gonna turn that on, get the green beans cooking, saute my mushroom so that I'm all ready once the fish is done. Okay, this pan, we're gonna saute the mushrooms in there. Get them cooked up a little bit. In this blue pan, we have the rice, and this pan over here, we have the green beans. This will not take long. I try and use unsalted butter or olive oil when I do this. I just want a little bit of moisture in here because the mushrooms will really soak it up. Because I think when you use salt, it gets all the water out of it, and I didn't want the mushrooms to become mushy. Because they'll get warmed up and things like that in the rice. Just a little bit more olive oil. We're just going to cook these up a little bit. Yes, and I do have it on high heat. I'm still trying to get my stove fixed. I don't know, I thought it was, but it keeps making that clicking noise. So I'm doing it on this burner. White mushrooms will do good. White mushrooms will do well. I just have cremini. I think I like them because they're brown and they have a little different, kind of heartier taste and flavor to them. I love mushrooms. They're like earthy. They just bring so much to a meal. Okay, I think that is about it. Turn that off. Let's see how our rice is going. So, plain rice with a little fennel happening in there. Must have chopped up the butter. So this is really, really hot. I'm going to get some butter for this. So I'm going to put a little butter in there. Add a little bit of flavor. And codfish, even with this, I mean, I'm using white rice. You could use wild rice. You can even make it brown rice. I think brown rice is really good, even though I think that's a little bit chewier for this delicate of a fish or meat protein. So I like white rice with a cod. And so we're gonna add just a little bit of salt to this. To my rice, a little bit of black pepper. And we're going to add in the mushrooms. Ouch. There we go. I don't know, I mean, plain white rice is good too, but I have a tendency just to add a little bit more to my rice. Or the other thing I think would be really good that I don't think I did the video to this yet, but on some meats I will combine the white rice with quinoa. I think that's really good. Let me move it over here so you guys can see a little better. Let me just add a little bit of green onions, scallions. I think those are good. And then I'm even going to add a little bit of chopped parsley. I think that'll add a nice color to it as well. So if you wanted to, especially with the wine lemon sauce, you could put the cod over the white rice, even with the mushrooms and stuff. And then you can drizzle some of the white wine sauce over the cod, kind of soak in the rice, and I think that'll taste good too. And then you got your green beans on your plate. So let me get the lid back on here so this doesn't cool. And we are going to wait till the fish is done. So let's get back and get ready for that. Oh, look at the green beans. And just to dress them up a little bit, I am going to put probably about a sliver, little pad of butter on here. Stir it around. I mean, this is simple. I mean, we do so much with our green beans. If I used the long fresh green beans or from the grocery store fresh green beans, I really like the almonds with a little lemon zest. No, orange. Just like a tablespoon of orange juice or fresh squeezed oranges, orange zest. And then I do toasted almonds on them. So yeah, I don't know, I just like the little bit of crunch. And then we're gonna be ready to dish up. My rice is done. So I'll dish that up. And I'm gonna miss these little feathery things. I kind of like my fan. Don't you like my fan? Ooh, yeah. Let me get this up a little bit. There you go. Now my head isn't chopped off. Anyway, I like my little fawns. Fawns, I think they call them. But we don't need those anymore. Oops. Need my hot pads. And I took the fish out of the oven. And here it is. Okay, before I serve this up for Chris and I'm gonna chop up a little bit more of the parsley so that I can use some of the fawns from the fennel and mix this in and do a little topping for the fish. So you can do it traditionally and just have your 3 little spots, but I'm gonna put mine over my rice. There we go. Forgot to turn off my stove top. Okay, let's dish up. Here we go. Where's my spatula? Here we go. If I can lift it up, I'll take the lemon off. Whoops. Ah! Chris, I'm sorry. I didn't get that out good enough. Yes, I know. I licked my fingers. Okay, let's get a little bit of rice on here. Get a little bit of rice there. I'm gonna serve him up another one. Or I don't know, does he need another one? Well, let's see. Get some of these fennel and shallots in there. Put that on the side. Get a little bit of green beans. Oh yeah, do you see this, you guys? Oh gosh, you guys don't even see this. Let me put this on here. A little bit of green beans. I probably put a little too much almonds in here. And I'm gonna use my little bit of parsley and fennel. And there you go. This is cod with white rice, mushrooms, and green onion, and green beans. So it's cod with fennel, shallots, and a white wine butter sauce. White wine lemon butter sauce. Oh my gosh, I gotta come up with the title for this. Anyway, this is what it'll look like. So go to amyroloffslittlekitchen.com or my YouTube channel, which you'll definitely find all the videos and all the recipes over there as well. And I hope you make cod, and if you switch it up or you have a favorite recipe that you do with like a white fish like cod or halibut, I would love to know. So anyway, I hope you try this out, make it, and you enjoy it. But like I said, you can find this recipe and all the other recipes and most of the videos over at amyroloffslittlekitchen.com. So from my kitchen to yours, enjoy, and thanks for joining me.